Today we're going to look at the new Argus 2 Wi-Fi wireless security camera by Reolink, and I have the one with the solar power option. I received a couple packages today to check out. Black shrink wrap packages. What do we have here? Looks like a solar panel from Reolink. And what is in this one? We have the Reolink Argus 2 camera and the Reolink solar panel. This makes for a completely wireless security camera setup. Let's check it out. First, we'll open up the camera. You can see this one's factory sealed. Now, I already have a Reolink camera that I have had for quite a while now. Check out the little camera here. Okay, camera's there. And there's a battery. This is battery powered. So here's the battery that you would drop onto it. It uses a 5200 milliamp hour 3.6 volt battery, so lithium. It's a rechargeable lithium battery. So that's a good sized battery. That just drops onto the back here, like that. And for charging the battery, I'm assuming it's just a USB charger.
The camera has been started up. Please run Reolink app, add the camera, and set it up.
Okay, so I have to run the Reolink app.
Please run Reolink app, add the camera, and set it up.
Now, I should point out that the solar is an option that you have to purchase separately. The camera itself comes with a rechargeable battery. You plug it into your USB charger. There's a little port on the back that has a watertight seal on it. Charge it up, and it's good for, for several days or weeks before it has to be recharged again, depending on how often the clips are being recorded. But the solar is an option so that you can leave it unattended and it'll just keep recording on its own. So the first thing you need to do is pair the phone or pair the camera to the Reolink app on the phone. I've already got the Reolink because I have another camera, so I'm just going to hit the plus button to add a new one. Okay, it says please to run the app. I've add the camera and set it up. It said I've heard the voice prompt, so I'm going to click here, click next, and it says add Reolink to access this device's location. You can allow all the time, allow only while using the app, or deny it. You can ask me to put a network in for it.
Please run Reolink app, add the camera, and set it up.
It's going to put my password in for my network. Now it says to connect the camera to your Wi-Fi network, face it to your phone, and scan the QR code on the screen. So I'm going to say scan now. Oh, got to pull the, first thing I got to do is I got to pull the little sticker off the camera here, or it's going to have a tough time seeing it. Basically, when I click on scan now, what it's going to do is it's going to put a QR code on the screen, which I'm not going to show you guys, but I'm going to point the camera at it and let the camera take a picture of it.
Please run Reolink app. Add the scan succeeded.
Okay.
Camera is connecting to your router. Please wait. Connection to the router succeeded. Welcome to Reolink.
Okay, so that's done.
Connection to the router succeeded. Welcome to Reolink.
So now we go, okay, I gotta create a password to log into this device. So I've just given it a name. Initialization is finished. And now we can use the camera. Don't point it. It tells you camera sensor placement. It detects motions with the PIR on the front here. And so it tells you what you want, how they want you to set it up. It gives you some examples. If you click on use now, here's the, if I click play, here is the picture. Oh, that's my other camera. Where's this one? There's two of them now. I have two Reolinks. So this is my other one. If I go to this one here and I click on this one, they should locate, there's this one. So there's the new camera right there. So that's how simple this one is to set up. And now we're going to take a look at the optional solar power system for it. I should point out that the camera comes with two bases. It comes with a magnetic base, which you can attach and just set the camera, point it whichever way you want. It'll come off this magnetic base. That's one base for it. The other base it comes with is the more permanent base, where you can screw it onto a permanent mount and then adjust the camera in any which way you want the camera to point and tighten up the screw. So if you're mounting this outside, this is the one you would use, and it actually comes with a little a base piece. The plate just pops off the back. It is held in place. It's quite strong, the clip, so when you mount the plate against a wall, for example, or up against a wall, mount it with the part stamp back facing the wall, and the part stamp front faces to the base, and the base just clips on, and you just pop it in place. Once you pop it in place, this will, I'll press the button down, and it'll pop in just like that. But it is a firm mount. For outdoor use, it's recommended to use the included silicone case. This will prevent moisture from getting in around the battery and the charge connectors, etc. And it just snugly covers the camera to prevent moisture and water from causing damage. Once it's in the skin, you can either put it back onto the magnetic base or mount it to the permanent base. And again, even this is going to be watertight. Let's take a look at the solar charger. Again, factory sealed. I'm actually going to put this thing in service as a solar camera. We'll put this into a long-term service and see how it performs outside in the rain, being charged up by the solar panel that I've got for the camera. So this is an optional accessory. It comes with its own little mount to mount it on. So the mount will screw into the back of the solar panel. Don't over tighten the screw, by the way, because you can break the panel. Just till it's snug, and then tighten up the other retaining screw and nut to hold it in place. And here's the charging cord for it. And normally with the camera, you would have the charge port covered, obviously to keep water out of it. To charge with the solar charger, it comes with a little boot that fits over it so that you can plug the charger in and leave it plugged in, and then put the boot over top like that. That'll prevent the camera from getting wet. And of course, to use it with the extra skin, you just open up that at the back, and now you can plug the charger in when the camera is in its extra skin to protect it from the rain. Micro SD card fits in the side here. I'm going to load a micro SD card up on it now so that I can set this thing up, and I'm going to take it out and I'm going to put it up outside somewhere where I can use this thing and set up the solar panel so that it will continue to charge the battery on its own, and I don't have to worry about supplying power to this one. Something like this would be perfect for mounting in a tree or in a remote location where you just don't have power and it's not easy to get power to it. It makes it perfect for that. And then you have everything recorded. Live video and recordings can be accessed both on your phone as well as through using the Reolink surveillance app on your PC. And on the PC, it will display both cameras simultaneously, which I'm doing with it. So I'll first power the camera down by removing the battery. SD card goes in the side. with the contacts facing forward, it looks like. Yep. Reinstall the battery. I'm going to put the camera back into its secondary protection skin. I'm going to mount this camera up in a tree. I'm just going to strap it to one of the branches. It comes with a strap kit that you can strap it and cinch it up. So this is how I'm going to attach this camera up into the tree. And for the solar panel, I guess I'll have to actually screw that down somewhere to charge it up. But for the actual camera, I'm just going to attach this up into a tree and stick the camera on there. The base will snap onto this like here. Okay, I'm going to go take this, throw this up in a tree, attach the camera to it, set it up, and then we'll set up the solar panel for charging. And I'm going to leave this thing in the tree for an extended period and just see how it holds up over time. So as you can see, I've got the mount right next to one of the other cameras. It's under a long-term test. I'm going to get the camera up there and we'll just point it down at the driveway and set up the solar panel and see how well this one performs. And eventually it'll probably replace the one on the left, which needs power. If I can power this thing up and have it run without problems off solar power, I'll leave it there on solar panel and remove the other one. So there it is, mounted up in the tree. It's about 15 feet, I guess, in the air, something like that. And just got it pointing down at my driveway and out into up the street. Solar panel's not in the best place to capture full sun, but it will catch the morning sun. So that should give it a good charge every day. It's now getting late into the afternoon and it's being shaded, but in the morning it'll catch full sun, no problem. And it'll catch full sun pretty much all year round because it is facing south. So we'll leave this one up here and we'll see how this one performs in the long term and put it up against one of the competitors. And we'll see how this one performs. Let's go and take a look at the picture on the app that I get off of the camera now that it's installed. So Reolink use their own software. They use their own app. It's a very well laid out app. As you can see, I've now got two cameras showing up here with the Reolink app. And I can just tap either one to bring up full screen. So this is the original Reolink camera. Where is it here? How do I do this? I guess I click here. And I can click which camera I want full screen. So if I go to that one, this is the original one, and if I turn it sideways, it'll bring this one up full screen. This is the original one that actually operates on the 5 gigahertz band. It is excellent. It's very good at nighttime. And what I like about Reolink's cameras over other brands is the way that they operate over their recording capabilities is unlike any other. So here's the new one that I just put up. As you can see, I can see up my driveway and see up the street, but not see into my neighbor's yards. I've positioned it in such a way that I can only see my own yard and I can see up the street, but I can't see into anybody else's yard. And that's important when you're putting up a security camera. You want to be aware of not being able to view into any of your neighbor's properties of things that you wouldn't see from the street. So anything that you can see from the street is game, but you can't put your cameras up in your backyard to peer over your neighbor's fence, for example. That's a good way to get a knock at your door, if you know what I mean. Anyway, the thing I really like about, here goes a car going by, and there he goes. So I get a nice shot. Yes, my Wi-Fi is a little bit laggy, and wants me to switch to standard definition because my signal's not that strong up there in the tree where it is. It's quite a ways away from my router, but it's hanging in there. It's hanging in there. So I'm probably at about the range limit. The thing I really like about the Reolink is how it operates for playback. You tap the playback button and it'll give you a date, and it has all these little motion detection events, and it has the time stamped on each one. So for example, if I go to 4:20, I think that's probably where that car was driving by, I can load the stream and see this event. There goes the car. Every time there's an event that is recorded, it'll record it as a separate file on the timeline, which is something that I really like about Reolink software. By comparison, and then it'll go to the next event. So anytime there's an event, it'll just record it and then stop. And that's something that I really like about their software. My other camera, for example, this one I've had for months, right? And it's exactly the same. If I go back to Playback, I can search. See, it's got all the recordings that took place. Like I can go back to here's a recording at probably 2:58 in the morning. I think there was an event at 2:58 in the morning. I can go back there and see what was the event at 2:58 in the morning. Oh, it was a bug flying past the camera. Yeah, probably just saw that. But I can go back and look at every little event. 4 o'clock in the morning, for example, and it will just automatically play every single event. Oh, this is from yesterday. Oh, this is from 2 days ago, this one. Let's see what happened this morning. See, I can go back. I can go back quite a ways on this. I got a full month of recordings on here, more than a full month. I can go all the way back to May 26th. This is a 32 gig card. Okay, 32 gig card. I can go back to May 26th. I have it set up so that it doesn't record if something drives by on the street. I've got it set up for my detection field just in the proximity of my cars here. So it's not going to record things like the paperboy that, boy, it's a man who rolls up in his car and just throws the paper from his window. It doesn't catch that because it's not in the protected field. I've set up a field on here so that it only records when activity happens within where the protected field is, which is one of the neat features I like about the camera, is that it's accurate. Like that when there's the car leaving, right? So it records about 10 seconds. Whenever there's an event, it stores the prior, I think it's 5 to 10 seconds of motion, and then records for another several seconds after motion is stopped. That's one of the features I like about the Reolink cameras. It's just the playback log is very, very simple. Like if I go to the playback log here, these are all the events that is recorded since I put it up, and I haven't even set up the motion detection on it right now. It's just detecting everything that moves. So at 4:21, for example, there was an event. I'm still in HD mode. I haven't selected standard definition, but it's playing, and the car goes by. Right, and then it'll play the next event. We'll close that down there, and it'll play the next event. The next event's got some people walking up the street. Right, so this is what I like about how the Reolinks work. Comparing to other brands of cameras, and as you can see, the timeline's a little different. This one here, I've got it set to record as well if there's any events. But this one here, you actually have to pick your timeline and it'll play it back. This is probably when I was up the tree putting the camera in place. But as you can see, it's not quite as user friendly, because it'll just record segments and you have to move your timeline and figure out where things are. It's not quite as nicely laid out there. That's when I was filming. If I turn the camera sideways here, that's when I was doing the segment of showing the camera, and I was talking to the camera. They're showing it. So that's what that one does. Now I could probably find the same scene here on the Reolink if I go back and find that one. It was, but all the clips themselves will play sequentially. See when this. Okay, I'm going back to get my camera. I've come down off the ladder. There I am. See, everything is nicely recorded. And then it goes to the next clip. So very well laid out, very simple to operate. One of the best that I've seen. Some of the other ones, and I do have other cameras, but some of the other ones are very difficult to navigate through and see what I mean. This is how a lot of them are. A lot of the cheaper ones, they just give you these clips that have been recorded. You have to pick the clip and decide whether you want to play it or download it. Click play, and the clip will play. Whatever triggered that event. But that's how a lot of them work. Not very friendly. So trying to find something off of one of these other cameras can be a bit of a chore, as everything is just all laid out as files. We go back over to the Reolink. Reolink has everything laid out on a timeline. Every recording is there. You just tap it and it'll play back. There's somebody walking up the street. I think that's the one I looked at before because nobody's gone up the street since then. But it makes it very easy to find things. And if you want to download it, it's simple. You can download it to your phone. You can make a backup copy of it just by pressing the appropriate button on the screen. So I just tap the camera icon here, and that will now make a copy of that clip to my phone so that I've got a permanent copy of it. And then I tap it again, and now you see I've created a copy on my phone with sound. Very simple. The recordings come up under your gallery. That one, for example, that's the 4-second recording I made of me. The other one here, and if I turn the camera sideways, there's a playback of the recording now stored on my phone that I downloaded from the camera. Very simple to do, much simpler than other cameras. Naturally, you can zoom in on the image by just your normal pinch to zoom in. It is a digital zoom, so it is going to lose some definition as you do it, but you can zoom in on your image to a certain degree. It's not going to pull in the license plate on the car that's 3 doors down, though. That's just crazy if you think you're going to get that type of resolution. That's not going to work. But if it was close enough, if it was in your driveway, for example, I think if it was a car parked in front of my house here, I probably would be able to see the license plate on it because that's close enough. But again, none of the HD cameras are going to do that. And even the 4K cameras zooming in a lot, you're going to be hard pressed to try and get that kind of detail off them, even in 4K. I swipe over the other cameras here. When you're in full screen mode, you can just swipe back and forth for your cameras. You can have up to 4 of them. And if I go back here, if I hit, what button was it? I think it was this one here. I can now have up to 4 cameras on the screen at once. Turn it sideways, and they're that way. So if you've got multiple cameras, they'll display on the same screen. Well, the same brand of cameras, right? They all would have to be Reolink. But anyway, it's back to single screen. I like it. And then again, just swipe back and forth. If you're in full screen like this, swipe back and forth to see the cameras. Again, link is in the description. I've had very good luck with the first Reolink camera that I got several months ago. I think it was last year that they sent me that one. And this is the new one. I think you guys will like it too. I'm going to leave this up in the tree and we'll see how the battery holds out on it, how it recharges and everything. And I'm expecting good things out of this camera. Here's a shot at night off my PC. If we bring this up to full screen, it's got a full color picture at night. You can turn this on and off and go into the settings here. Under basic settings, I can turn on the, where is it here? I can set it for auto or black and white. So if I put it to auto, it should probably go to black and white. It goes to black and white, so it's turning on the infrared lights. So if there was absolutely no light out, it would illuminate the image using the infrared lights. There's enough light in my front yard and from the street lights that I can get a good color image at night. Now my driveway light's on here, you can see that. But you can see here, okay, the driveway light just went out. And it's got notification that, oh, I guess that's the notification that it just detected the lights changing. But there's how it looks in the dark. It is amazing for a camera with no external lighting right now. There's a light on over my door here, and this is just a little 4-watt LED bulb, and you can see the light beams on there. Amazing how sensitive this thing is in color mode in the dark. I'm quite impressed. If I go back and switch, I'll switch it back to auto. Okay, when the infrared lights come on, of course you can see more because we're now flooding more light down this way. And if there was no light whatsoever, the infrared lights would give us plenty of light to see in total darkness. But that's amazing how well this unit works. Go back to color. There you go. Totally usable in low light. And it is not that bright out there. Amazing. So here's the performance off the phone in the dark. If I go back to Playback, you probably get a shot of me when I went outside in the dark. It might have been this one. There we go. So I was walking outside into my front yard, and I couldn't believe, I was looking at the picture on the phone, and I couldn't believe how good the quality is at night. Now the other camera that's up there, it actually has a white light that kicks on in the dark. You can actually see it illuminating the trees there. But it just went out. So there's the and now it just came back on. See the other camera that's up there that's under test, it actually has a motion sensor on it, and it actually turns on a white light. It turns on an LED light like a night light, so that it can see, it can help it in the dark. But there it's off, and you can see even with that light out, that's just the ambient light that is in my front yard. Say one 4-watt LED, and then a street light that's like halfway up the end of halfway up the block. That's pretty impressive for a camera in the dark. It's finished playing back, so I can go back to live. There, now we're back to live. Anyway, I just figured I'd add that extra footage so that you guys can see how good this thing performs under low light. It's very good under low light, even in color. It's excellent. Link is in the description. Thanks for watching.